We are now back with another one. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Clean Breaks report card pickup for the Charlo versus Castano fight. Castano fight. All right, so we're going to get into that shortly. Bear with me.
Cause he threw me off. In the plane so high, sleeping in the sky.
All right, there we go. Right back at it like crack addicts. Jay, over the weekend we had the Charlo versus Castano fight. Castano. It was a 3-fight card. There was Aline versus Vidal. There was also Rolando Romero versus Anthony Yigit. And then there was the main event, which was the Charlo versus Castano fight. The Anthony Yigit versus Aline versus Vidal. What did you think of that fight?
I thought Aline won the fight. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
You got politics involved in there. The other guy's the undefeated, name prospect who's being brought up through the ranks. I thought he outworked him. I thought he landed, clean shots. I think he did much better than I thought he was going to do. And I actually think he beat the other guy at his game on the inside. And to me, he kind of outsmarted him. So I thought he actually won the fight. So I thought that was a bad decision.
Yeah, I give the Vidal Aline fight. I give the fight to Aline, and I give Aline like a C+ because what he should have done was threw punches and bunches and stepped back to the middle of the ring. He should have worked his way out, stepped around, and got himself back to the middle of the ring, which he did not do. He let himself be backed up by the bigger, stronger guy, which didn't prove to be much of a topic because even when he was up against the ropes, he did respond well to Vidal when they were in exchanges. But the only thing I didn't like about it as well was the fact that he did Aline. His punches seemed to be slapping, and they didn't seem like he was sitting down on him and throwing really hard shots. I think that's something that he either needs to work on as far as like sitting down on his punches, or he needs to work on just keeping fights in the middle of the ring. Because when you're getting backed up by bigger, stronger guys, those punches do hurt. I don't know who did or didn't see it. Those punches do hurt, especially when you're sitting on a rope and you have nowhere to go. Like you can take it, you build up endurance and strength and conditioning to take shots like that, but it wears you down and it gets harder to throw punches back, especially punches that will be effective. So Vidal, I wasn't impressed by Vidal. They were pumping him up. I was listening to what they were saying before I turned the volume down and just watched the fight. But they were saying that what they were saying to me wasn't very impressive. Oh, he's this and he's that. And I was like, okay, I'm looking at a guy who's bigger and stronger, but I'm not getting much out of him. It wasn't like he knew how to set up his punches. It was like he just waited for this guy to get to the ropes.
Yeah.
So I wasn't impressed by that.
It was very rudimentary, would be the word. What's his skill set? I found it to be. I was underwhelmed. But, hopefully he can get back in the gym, work on some things. He got a gift decision. He's a prospect, and hopefully he can learn from this and get better.
Yeah, to Alim, if you're listening, if you have a chance to listen, you didn't lose a fight, bro. It was just a decision that didn't go in your favor, as did the main event. So the next fight was the Rolando Romero, who you told me was supposed to be somebody, and I still ain't impressed by this kid, man.
No, I didn't say he was somebody. I just said he's with Mayweather camp, and he's trying to talk himself into a big fight. I don't think he has a lot of skill. I think he's very raw. I just think he's a strong kid, mostly just a one-handed puncher with the right hand. And other than that, that's it. That's what I think about him. I think Devin Haney, I think all the other guys pick him apart and destroy him.
Yeah, there's not much that I've seen from him in these few fights. And I went back and watched some of the stuff from him early on, but just not seeing it, man. I think
underwhelmed.
Yeah. If you want to call the first fight rudimentary, he goes in the same calorie as elementary. You know what I mean? But I didn't see nothing. And shout out to Anthony Yiggett, who took this fight on 3 weeks notice and had to come down from 160 because he was a blown up guy. The fight that he was originally supposed to take should have been on this card. And I think it would have been a, what do you call it? What do you call it? A catchweight fight. It would have been a catchweight fight just to get him down between 135 and 140 or 145. So he was trying to strain himself, you know, to make the weight for the fight. What I wish would have happened was that Rolando Romero take on Juan El Rayo Valenzuela. Like, that's the fight he should have taken. The kid was like, yo, I'll take it. I'll take it on 2-3 weeks notice. I'll take the fight. Yeah. And then when you see the interviews with Rolando Romero, he's upset that the guy wanted to take the fight.
Yeah, I mean, they obviously have some, you know, personal beef, and they could have settled it in the ring. And obviously, Rollies didn't want any part of Rayo. And
no, that's the guy I told you about. I was like, yo, this kid is.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, Rollies know he would get outboxed. The reason why he's calling the Tanks and the Devin Haney's, the other guys, is because he knows it's a payday, right? He knows he's going to get outboxed. He thinks he maybe have a puncher's chance. And he just figures, hey, if I have my name associated with him in the lights, that's going to be my biggest payday. A guy like Rayo, he feels if I get outboxed by him, I'm going to lose some money, you know? So
you're going to get more than outboxed against Rayo. Trust me.
Yeah, he's going to get knocked out. Yeah, he would get outboxed and eventually probably stopped, in my opinion. I would probably say maybe no later than the 9th round.
Yeah, it just depends. I think because what people don't notice about El Rayo is that he's not 5'8". He's actually 5'11". Like, if you see him standing next to Mike Tyson and David,
he's tall.
Benavidez. Yeah, he's a tall dude. He's 5'11". You know, 5'10", 5'11". He's not a small kid at all. Salute to El Rayo. But I think that fight, you come in there trying to throw that bullshit, them hard shots like that, you're gonna get broken up and worn down. And when a guy like that
picked apart.
When a guy like that is in a gym with David Benavidez and Jose Benavidez Sr. and Jr. and the rest of that camp, they're fighting in there. These guys are going at each other. They're sharpening each other. You know, iron sharpens iron. Yeah. So he has a very good tool set, even though El Rayo doesn't have that many fights. You know, he is on his way. You know, a lot of people are going to try to stay out his way, but you can't block certain things like that. You know, he's on his way. So I definitely would have liked to see him fight that kid, but he didn't. He fought Yiggett. How long did he hold up in that fight? 8, 9? Shorter?
Something like that. Yeah.
I'm not sure because I was unimpressed.
Slapping punches, you know.
It wasn't even that. It was just that the one guy, Rolando Romero, was just walking forward, trying to hit him with a really hard shot. You know,
bully. Yeah, he was just trying to bully him and, you know, out physical him. And
I don't even know how long he can stay at 135. And, you know, you're a secondary champion, calling out champion, but whatever to that. So I wasn't thoroughly impressed. I don't even know what to grade that fight. I guess I'll give it a C-. You know. I saw no skill. The only reason, for those who want to know why do you give it a C-, I saw little to no skill. I saw Anthony Yiggett not get hurt necessarily by clean punches all the time, but in the clinches, when the ref should have jumped in when he said break, he should have jumped in and broke it up. And in those clinches or those breakups, Rolando Romero would throw punches and hit the kid. You know what I mean? So he was throwing off his equilibrium. He hit him a couple times behind the head. So I wasn't too impressed by what I saw. I hope that Anthony Yiggett can figure out what weight class he wants to come to. I think he might be able to show some promise at 135 if he decides to do that. You know, but I'm sure he's going to go back to the Swiss and worry about that later on, do his acting jobs and everything like that. No disrespect, but I know that's what he has coming up. And then in the main event, Jermell, Lions only, Charlo, Twin Charlo versus Brian Castano from Argentina. Robbery.
I think it was a robbery.
I think he was robbed.
I don't think so. I had it a draw. Here's my take. I think it's a big reaction to people thinking. So first of all, let me put it this way. They were both disappointing. Neither one of them do what they normally do in a fight. With Jermell, He didn't show a lot of tools in the tool belt to break a guy down. He was he didn't move his jab. He was very simple, very, very basic with this game plan with his 1-2s. And then he got, when he had Castano hurt, which is a few times in the fight, he got wild. He wasn't under control. He didn't go to the body. So he lacked a lot of discipline there. He was underwhelming. Castano fought very well when he actually did fight, but it was all fuckery, in my opinion. I'm gonna tell you what he was doing. He was being outboxed in the center of the ring pretty much all except the last 30 seconds of a round. Then he'd get Jamel in a corner, and Jamel would let him get him in the corner and back.
And he's still a fight.
And he would just try to steal rounds at the end. I can't give a guy, I like the strategy and I get it, but I can't keep giving the guy rounds when I see he's being outboxed in the middle of the ring. He's been hurt to the point to where he's hurt and he's running away, and he did it 3 times in the fight. And then he steals the last 30 seconds of rounds. I get it, people are hyping up Castano. I think he's really good. And I get why people are viewing the fight that way. But he didn't get robbed, in my opinion. I think had he fought at least half of the round with that pressure and threw punches like that and was a little bit more active, he probably would have beat Jermell. But if he'd have thrown more punches long in the round, he probably would have opened himself to more opportunities to get hurt as well. And I think that's why he didn't. His work rate was significantly lower than what it is in most of his fights.
But he threw far fewer punches than Jermell did in that fight, right?
Well, he always throws more punches than Jermell. The thing is, he didn't throw as many punches as he does all of his other fights.
Okay, and I hear that, but for Jermell, so to counter that, if I was Jermell, why didn't you just stay in the middle of the ring? You let the shorter guy back you up into the corner.
Well, and that's my issue with Jermell. That's where he was disappointing. He gave ground. The guy, Castano, to me, could not fight off the back foot. When Jermell pressed the action, used his jab and backed the guy up. And, again, he hit him with a counter left hook. He fell in love with it, got wild. He kept going for the counter left hook. Castano made a nice adjustment to that counter left hook. What he did is he would keep his hands up, and then he would try to shoot these overhand rights. He was catching Mel with those overhand rights, and it made Mel a little gunshot with the left hook. Mel wasn't going to the body. He wasn't doubling up the left hook the way he should have. He was wild. His foot placement, he was off balance. Castano did a good job applying pressure. But Castano, again, I think it's smoke, bro. A lot of it was pressure, and he was landing some punches, but not a whole lot. It looked good because you saw Mel giving ground, and you saw Castano chopping at the wood in the corner, but he missed a lot. He missed a lot. And I can't give a guy a fight who gets hurt. I mean, several times a fight, but 2 really distinctive times. He was popped
like 3 times
true,
in that fight.
But you're getting hurt, but you're running. I mean, it's smart running where he's being a vet. He's backing away. He's tying up on the inside. He's buying himself time. He'll shoot a hard shot to keep Mel honest. I cannot give a guy a fight and give him undisputed.
The majority of those middle rounds, he got him. He stole those rounds. I sat there and watched it to sound off. He stole the majority of those rounds. So I had him going the first round. He came out a little bit more active than Mel. The second round, he got rocked, and then Mel tried to put the pressure on him. He came back the third round and rocked Mel, and then after that, I was like, okay, after the fourth round, I was like, it's 3-1. And then in between there, he would come out early. He would pop Mel, and then he would wait for Mel to do something in the center of the ring. Mel would do his job, and in the last 30 seconds, he would run off a combination like Sugar Ray Leonard did and win a round.
I mean, I get it. If he'd have landed cleaner punches more and did it more than just the last 20 to 30 seconds, I can see it that way. I get why people visually gave him a lot of those rounds. Again, ring generalship, clean, effective punching, and obviously styles make fights. Castano's style was confusing Mel. He just didn't do it the majority of each round, and that was my problem with Castano. He did it at the end to steal the round. And if you're going to steal a round, for me, because I'm not fooled by it, I need to see you land more cleaner punches. Mel was catching a lot of them, put himself in some bad spots. He got clipped a couple times, but not enough for me to give Castano all those middle rounds. That's just the way I
And
see
he was
it.
going to the body, and he had good body. He had good body
Yeah,
work, and
yeah.
I think that's another reason why Mel wasn't going to the body, because every time the kid stepped in, he went to the body effectively. Mel wasn't trying to try to counter that shit and get caught. He
Well,
wasn't trying to get clipped with that.
he wasn't trying to get caught, but again, he should have never been in that position. If he'd have used his jab and controlled the distance, he was hurting Castano. He already carries a high guard. He was trying to punch through that guard, but he wasn't doubling up anything. He was very predictable with his 1-2s. And then you got to shoot something downstairs. Mel had many opportunities to go downstairs, and where Castano wasn't even in a position to return fire, and Mel just didn't. He was headhunting. He was too busy trying to break through that high guard, as opposed to dropping that high guard, putting some water in the basement. And he could have done it. Again, Castano's good, but I think people are overhyping him a little too much, in my opinion.
I'm not
He's got good skills.
him. I'm not overhyping him. I'm just going off of what he did.
Right, not you, but I'm talking about other people. I know you were impressed with what he did. Now, I was impressed with the way he closed distance, but it was more the way Mel led him. And again, he only did it the last 30 seconds of a lot of the rounds, and he got hurt. He buzzed Mel, but he got hurt. And then you start backing and running away, bro. I just can't. Again, it's about who's controlling the fight. Styles make fights, ring generalship. Yeah, he would get Mel into that corner.
And then to take away Mel's jab, to not have him jabbing as much as he normally does, he jabbed more than that when he fought Jason Rosario. He jabbed way more than that.
And he jabbed to the body.
Against a harder puncher.
Yeah, he took some steps back. I think he was confused by Castano. And I know what Castano was doing, because normally you think the guy's got to jab his way in. And Castano wasn't always jabbing his way in. He was slipping, ducking his way in, and he just kept coming.
Or he had the counter right hand when he would come in.
And he was really hurting Mel. He couldn't figure out that counter sneaky right hand. And I give Castano credit. He was very, very unpredictable, because he was shooting it up top with the overhand, and he was also shooting the sneaky right hand to the body.
Oh yes, sir. In that second half of that fight, he picked it up and he started throwing that hard right to the body a lot more often.
Yeah,
and then even in the center of the ring, when they were there, when you would watch, they would just pause. It was just like they were looking at each other, and he was like, "Well, are you gonna go or are you gonna go?" And Castano, for him, I know he was like, "This is perfect. You're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing." And this is where I had the advantage when you don't do nothing. It makes me look better, because now it makes me look like a pressure fighter. That's another reason why I was like, yo, this kid is using the psychological advantages against me.
But the physical, actual, real pressure came in the last 30 seconds. So I hear what you're saying. But at the same time, he ain't doing shit either. He's standing there. So if I'd have seen him jab his way in the middle of the ring, and maybe get him in a corner with a minute and a little change left in a round, as opposed to 25, 30 seconds, when I clearly see you're trying to steal around, for undisputed, you gotta give me more. I think he should.
In the middle of the ring, when they were toe to toe, I think he should have just, like you said, slipped in, couple body shots like a lean, and slide the fuck on up out of there, man.
But we know why he didn't. You and I know why he didn't, because he kept getting caught and getting hurt. Either he got clipped really badly with that overhand right, that triple G punch Mel hit him with, and then he was getting caught with some left hooks. And even though he had an answer with those short, quick rights to the body, the overhand right, and he kept his hands up, and Mel wasn't effectively going downstairs, he was overly concerned with that left hook, and he got hurt by that left hook 3 times. And so while I was impressed with Castano, I think I saw him fight Lara. And so, Lara's a master boxer. So I knew Castano was going to bring it. He's got a good chin.
He got an engine.
He's got a good chin. He's got great endurance, got great cardio. He's a strong guy. I just think for me to give him all those middle rounds, I needed to see him do the last 30 seconds. I needed at least give me a minute and 15 seconds of that in each of those rounds. And I was purposely watching. He would do it literally the last 25, 30 seconds of each round. And, he get in there, he boom, 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 shoot upstairs. He got a couple nice shots in. He got countered quite a bit too. There was some exchanges. And that's pretty much it, man.
And then for Coach DJ to tell Mel, hey, You have to back him up. Use your jab. You
Yeah,
have to back him up. That let me know Derek saw the same thing I was looking at. Like, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, you being
yeah.
followed around the ring. Even though
Yep.
you ain't doing nothing, you're being followed
Yeah.
around the ring and you're not
Yeah.
controlling it.
Well, yeah.
And then
And
on top
Mel
of that, when
wasn't.
he did back Castano up, when he would back Castano up, he didn't cut the ring off. Again, this is
He did
the
not.
second
He
fight
was
I said
horrible.
this. When he
Yeah.
fought Tony Harrison, you got to
Yep.
cut the ring off and get the
Yep.
guy. And
Yeah.
Mill does
Yeah.
not cut the ring off.
And that's why he couldn't finish Castano. Because to me, again, this is why it's a draw to me. They both, again, Castano did a good job of cutting the ring off and get him in the corner. He just didn't do it early enough. Mel hurt Castano more, in my opinion. But when he hurt him, he followed him. He didn't cut the ring off. He didn't use smart pressure. He didn't have educated feet. He just followed Castano around the ring and allowed Castano to recover. And so, he wasn't using his jab. He wasn't going to the body, and he was horrible at cutting the ring off. Absolutely horrible.
I didn't see the uppercut.
Yeah, I mean the uppercut was there. He just wouldn't throw it. It's a lot of stuff I could have saw him do. Nah, he didn't double up. He didn't double up the hooks. He was also very wide and wild. Very much unlike Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo normally has a very, very nice. See, I thought he was going to stop this guy because I knew Castano was short, quick shots. But I just figured Mel would catch him because he has good, short, quick shots, even for a guy with that length. And he was just really wild, winging punches.
Yeah, I
and
think
that was
I think that comes from the speed of the punches, the variety of punches, and the volume of punches is what kept Mel honest. He would his hands, he kept his guns in the holster. He wasn't able to get the motherfuckers off because he saw it. It was the same way when people look at Andy Ruiz. Oh, he's fat, he ain't gonna do much. And then the punches start coming and punching. You go, whoa, I got to be more careful now. And I think he kept his guns in the holster because of that.
Yeah, and the key to his whole fight, what allowed him to be in that position, even be worried about it, is he did not effectively use his jab.
No, sir.
He did not do a good job to the extent that he should have of controlling distance. If he'd used the jab to control the distance, he made this fight a lot. See, to me, Mel made the fight a hell of a lot harder for himself than it had to be. He could have got him out there if he'd have just used his jab. If he'd have went to the body and he'd have cut the ring off, he had him hurt several times. He'd just cut the ring off. He could have won that fight easily. Castano, even though people feel like he got robbed, if Castano, and he obviously had the cardio, bro, get that guy in the corner earlier and put in that work longer instead of the last 25, 30 seconds. You got to do it.
I wonder what it is because you're sparring with the welterweight unified champion. What happens where, or maybe he doesn't get the chance to get Errol in the corner because Errol ain't taking that shit. But how do you not work on a situation where you get a guy hurt, or you work on cutting the ring off and keeping the guy in a position where you want to blast away at him? Because those last 3 rounds where he tried to pick up the pace and really go get it, he started following a hurt guy, a wounded guy around the ring. And it's just like, bro, you don't do that. You let him stumble around and then you cut off the angle to where he's going to. You know, it's 2 steps. And you shorten the ring every time. It's 2 steps. You shorten the ring.
You triangulate, literally.
Yeah.
Until you triangulate.
2 steps to the left or 2 steps to the right. That's it.
Until you put him in the spot where you want him, and then you let your hands go. Here's the thing. We know DJ teaches that. We know they work on it. I think the problem, and this is with both of the Charlos, they get in fights and they get very emotional. And I think on the intellectual side, it's not computing. It's not clicking. We know they work on the gym because we know Errol does it. I guarantee you, Errol gets Manny hurt, he ain't gonna be following Manny around the ring. He's gonna triangulate.
No,
he's gonna be very methodical. He's gonna be a shark. Yeah, he's gonna be on him. And when he gets him hurt, he's gonna triangulate. And we know what's gonna happen. He's gonna go in with the jab, and then he's gonna put some water downstairs in the basement.
Oh yeah.
And he's gonna keep you honest because you may think it's 1-2. You gonna counter it. He'll double up the jab. He'll move the jab. And so we know they see this. They watch his fights and see him do it, and they spar with him. At least Mel does. I just think they get into a fight and they start fighting and forget to box. I think that's both of them. I think that's their biggest problem. They get into a fight, other guy makes it a fight, and then the boxing just goes out the window.
The other problem I have with them is the fact that they wait to fight to the middle of the year and then don't fight again, or they fight in the middle of the year and then they try to take a fight later at the end.
Yeah, they're too inactive. Both of them are way too inactive. They both need to fight more.
Yes.
And I think that really hurts them, that they're that inactive. I think it hurts a lot of the PBC fighters. The only guy I think, and he still fights at least twice a year and, coming off the accident. The only guy to me who has the mental acuity to figure it out in the ring and do that, to me is Earl. It's just
Earl's a different dude though. Like but we know that. Yeah. We know that.
Yeah.
Earl starts to open up his toolbox as he goes along. He goes about business in a different way. And it's like, if I see any signs that you are hurt, I'm gonna beat the fuck out of you. But I'm gonna do it the way that I know I'm going to do it. Yeah. I'm not gonna rush in there and act a fool. Yeah, I'm gonna do it the smart way. And it's like for him, he goes through his Rolodex at the time of the fight. All right, this is where we are right now. I'm behind a jab. Oh, I got you hurt. All right, cool. This is how this is gonna go. But I don't know, man. Like from what I saw, I think Castano won. I don't know how out of two rounds maybe, because, and let me be honest for people that are listening to this, I got up and left. Around the 6th or 7th round. I went and watched the basketball game. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I see how this is going. I see what the kid doing. I was like, Castano I was like, he's gonna steal these rounds, and Mel is gonna keep letting him stand in front of him, which he shouldn't do. Yeah. So you're gonna let a guy stand in front of you, and although it's supposed to look like ring generalship on your part, you're not doing nothing. You're not doing nothing. Yeah. So Castano starts to win that battle. So instead of it looking like ring generalship, now it looks like he's stalking. He's providing pressure, and you're scared to throw your hands. I was like, there it is. Yeah. There it is. Deception.
It was definitely a mirage for Mel. And that's why I thought Castano missed a huge opportunity without putting him in a corner earlier, because Mel was letting him stand there and wasn't letting his hands go. If he would have applied, and he could have easily did it. That's the thing about Castano. What he did the last 30 seconds, he could have did that literally, honestly, 30, 40 seconds into the damn round. He could have started doing it.
A couple times he did it, and then he was backing up. But I understand why he did not do it early in the fight.
Well, we know why he didn't. He got clipped.
No, it wasn't just that. It was just the fact that you just won the last part of the round, so you're trying to preserve your energy as you come back to the opening part of the round. But it's weird to me. I think he do like you, but that part as well. I think he does know that Mel does know how to punch, because I watched the fight against Dedevinchenko when Castano fought that fight, and when they started scrapping, he was with it. He was with it the whole 8, 10, 12 rounds that they fought, and he stayed in the pocket with him. But this time around, I think it was a lot harder puncher. And he's decided, I'm gonna step out and step around this guy, because I ain't gonna stand in there and get clipped. Even though when he tried to, he did get clipped. He got clipped a couple times in that fight.
And I think that actually saved the draw for Mel. So if you want to be real, Castano outboxed Jermell Charlo clearly, in my opinion. He outboxed him. I just think the issue was Castano needed to be a little bit busier. He needed to steal the rounds earlier than the last 25, 30 seconds. And then he got clearly hurt. He got hurt badly, very clearly, 2 times, to where you see him take the punch and he is just in full retreat, full all-out retreat mode. And so, I think those are the things that really kind of hurt Castano, but he's championship material. I hope they run it back. I hope Mel doesn't duck the smoke, because he should look at this film and get back in there. And I know Earl's going to talk to him. I could see Earl's frustration, and I heard the interview after the fight. Earl lost it. Yeah, he did an interview. He said it was a close fight, and then they kept asking, well, how come Mel didn't do this? How come Mel didn't do that? He's like, man, you got to talk. They got the coach right there. Normally Earl don't do that. So I can tell you was frustrated.
Oh, it. If Earl say that, they let you know, like, man, what the fuck was you in there doing? And you could see during the fight, he was looking at Mel while Mel was doing certain things. Like, what is he doing? Like, go for it.
Even his brother, Jamal, which is weird because he saw it outside the ring. And when he kept getting Castano hurt, go to the body. You can hear him. Body. And Jermell wouldn't do it. It's something, and I think, and it is for both of them, even though I think Maul does it better and going to the body, he'll shoot it. But they get it's either getting emotional or they just, something happens with them to where when they get a guy hurt, it's almost like Deontay, right? It's like, then they just all hell breaks loose.
That's what I was gonna say. So I think when they get a guy hurt, they think, oh, because I hit so hard, this shit even if you got your hand up, it's still gonna hurt.
Yeah,
that's gonna get you out of there, and that's not how this works, man.
Not with high level guys. And Castano's a high level guy.
He's a high level guy.
Don't. Castano's a high level guy.
This guy was in the World Series boxing. Like, don't play with this kid, man.
Yeah. Castano is definitely, in terms of pure boxing, I would say boxing ability, he's the best boxer in the 154-pound division from a boxing standpoint. Being able to execute his style at his size with the consistency and the skill set he has, I was extremely impressed with his boxing ability and his acumen.
I would say best fighter, not boxer, but
I would say, yeah. Who do you like? Well, Lubin is a very good boxer. I agree.
He's a boxer.
Lubin is a very good boxer.
Castano is a fighter, man.
He's a fighter, but you got to give him some credit, bro. He's very crafty and very smart with with those types of physical disadvantages. He's most likely generally always a shorter guy. He always generally has a shorter arms. He's a pressure guy who gets to where he wants to get to somehow. And you got to give the guy credit. But he fights. But a lot of guys like that take a whole lot of punishment coming in. He wasn't getting punished coming in. He was getting punished in the pocket, trading, and then coming out is when he was getting punished. So I was very impressed with his ability. And, I think he's going to be a problem for anybody. He can fight any of those guys. He's going to be a problem.
Yes, sir. All you got to anybody listen, go watch the Lara fight. Lara is a master boxer.
Yeah.
He gave Edeslandi.
He gave him all he can handle.
Yeah, he gave him hell for 12 rounds. And then you're going to watch the Derevyanchenko fight. He gave Derevyanchenko a hell of a fight for as long as it lasted. I think that fight went to the very end, but he walked out of there with the win. So Castano is not a guy that you can just take lightly, man. I think that they need to go ahead and just set up the rematch, get it on over with, and make that fight. But we don't know what type of mandatory they're gonna throw out there in front of each one of these guys, and that's one of the things that I really don't want to see. I don't want to see a Erickson Lubin somehow getting the mix of this, or they throw Teixeira back in front of Castano or some shit like that. Like,
you let Bud Crawford come up and try, because he's WBO lets the champions of the divisions come up and be the automatic.
That ridiculous shit,
so, Yeah, that's that crazy stuff. So I think, but at the end of the day, it's still talking about a unification. It's still historical, and I think it does even better numbers the second fight. And I think it's just good business for them to do that rematch. And I think the sanctioning bodies see the benefit of it, because let's say it's not going to be a second draw; it's going to be a winner, right? And so I think I definitely see them running it back. Probably. Most likely it'll probably be November, just because I know Wilder and Fury got moved to October. So I would say November. November, I could see they need to run it back. So we'll see what happens.
So how do you grade it? Because we didn't pass out the grade.
I give Castano a B. I give Mel a C minus.
Oh, that's a D, damn it.
Yeah, I give him a C minus. Again, there were so many. I mean, think about it. With Castano, the only complaint is do what you were doing, but earlier and more often. So that means what he was doing was right. There were a lot of things Mel was doing that weren't right. I can name a lot of things he wasn't doing.
But let me say this though: if I don't have to do it and you ain't forcing me to do it, I don't. For what?
True. But here's the thing. But these are things that you always do. When you have the physical advantage and you want to control distance, use your jab. There was no excuse for him to not use his jab.
I'm talking about Castano. I'm talking about Castano. Like, if I don't normally have my engine going 24/7 because you're not pushing me and you're going to let me do this.
Well, but Castano, again, Castano is still a busier fighter than he was this fight. He just is. The power, to me, bottom line, no matter what anybody says, the concern for the power kept him, like if you look at the Lara fight, you look at all the other fights, it kept him a little more honest. Even he admitted getting hit and hurt. Now.
And I salute him for that because he was very honest. He was like, "Yeah, he hurt me honest. 2 or 3. He said he hurt me 2 or 3 times. Like he does have power." He said he did have me hurt, and I salute him for that because most guys are like, "Oh no, I didn't feel anything." Which we all know is a lie.
Yeah, bro. We saw the noodle legs, and we saw you looking like Custer in retreat. We saw you.
Yeah, we saw you moonwalk, bro.
Yeah, we definitely saw you moonwalk. Had a little Zab Judah in it, just a little bit, not too much, just a little bit. But yeah, then that's why I want him to go down to the body, man. If he'd have ripped them hooks to the body, that'd have took the legs away, and Castano would have just been, But anyway, like I said, there are a lot of things that Mel didn't do. That's why it's a C-, only because these are things that is not asking a lot. He already has the advantage. He's got the long arms. He's a taller guy. He's a bigger guy. He's got the power. You use the jab to set up the power, to set up your shots. And so for the world of me, while it was like he was going through the motions, 1, 2, 1, 2. And that's all he did. To jab Rosario to the body and make him do the stanky leg on his back, and then to never jab to the body of Castano the entire fight is when he's there to be hit.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, like that's C- work, bro. We can even leave the body workout, just the inactivity with the jab and just the predictable 1, 2, never even doubling up the jab, never jabbing, stepping around to your beautiful left hook. It's so many things he just didn't do.
Yeah,
that we've
I saw
seen
a couple
him
times. I saw a couple times Castano through the right. He did through a straight right lead, and I was sitting there looking like, why doesn't Mel just take a half step back, parry, and then throw his own right hand off of it?
Exactly.
But then I would see what would happen when he did try to make certain adjustments to that. Castano will always end up in his chest, and he was like, "Yo, this kid is coming with. Here comes the volume. Let me step around."
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't want that." And then when he would get hit, if you paid attention, he would smile at Castano, and I was like, he would. He know that he's in a fight. He know that he got.
And he was being smothered, but that's because he let Castano walk right through the front door.
No uppercut, nothing.
And that's the other thing. He could have walked. That's the next thing he didn't do. He could have walked Castano into so many uppercuts. It's ridiculous. Now I know why he did it, because Castano has a really good sneaky hook. Not upright when he's down here. He's got the head down. He shoots him, and he, they can hit anywhere to the body. But to me, the key to also with Mel is his footwork was horrible too. He was off balance a lot, and he was stuck in cement. He didn't pivot. I mean, there's just so many things.
Bro, them wild punches though that he was throwing.
The wild, wide hooks and the punches, that was so uncharacteristic. So I don't know what's going on with him, but that's why it's a C-. What did you give him?
So I was gonna give Castano a B, and I was gonna give
Mel a
B. Yeah, I give Castano a B. Yeah, and I give Jamel Charlo, I give him a C. There was it just the normal shit he just does, he just didn't do.
Right.
You could have got a B just off throwing a jab. Oh, and this was the other thing I noticed. Mel, you were trying to throw a chopping right hand, which you connected and hurt him a couple times.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
You want to throw a chopping right hand, go back and watch Eric Morales. You got to set that up, pimp. You gotta set it up, especially for a guy that's shorter and you throwing a punch like that down and you're turning and twisting the punch when it goes down. I saw you throw that a couple times and it was chopping. You gotta set that up, man, and you gotta have him in the right spot. Even if you want to hit the glove and punch the glove and then go down with it, you gotta do it a certain way, man. And
Eric Morales and Triple G are two really good guys to watch with that.
Yeah,
that
Triple
overhand.
G I think
Yeah.
Triple G just be trying to hit the top of the head and shit like that. I don't trust that. But Eric Morales, yeah, you watch, man. Anybody watching, watch the way he throw that punch, man. He be trying to hit you in the top. Yeah, that shit come
The
over and like
chopper.
and drops down like a rainbow.
Like a
I ain't
hammer.
falling for, yeah, I ain't falling for that. But you definitely, Maul, that was a good punch. But the setup to it was just not there, man. I wish we would have saw more from him, varying his punches. The jab would have been great to set Castano up and walk him into
unbelievable
right uppercuts or left
uppercuts all day long.
Step into the side. There were so many things that just didn't take place that we normally see Jermell Charlo do. Twin,
here's
man.
The other thing.
Well, I don't know what happened to you, man, but I hope you're all right.
And with both of them, this is where they both get a demerit, and especially Mel. And it was weird for Castano, but mostly because he didn't have to. Where were the feints? Oh my God! Like I was like, can I see the feint?
There wasn't a lot of that.
No, there wasn't. Neither one of them. They just, and I was no feints. He didn't give me any different looks. He didn't feint. His footwork was poor. Never pivot. Never doubled up the jab. Never went to the body. I mean, there's so many things that is just like. And DJ was telling him. He kept telling him, if you use your jab, you can make this an easier fight. Use your jab.
I don't know,
what's going to happen is Mel's going to have to wait till August 21st, and he'll watch what DJ means by using your jab. Because we know Manny Pacquiao, we know what he's going to do. Him and Freddie Roach think it's sweet. They think all we got to do is take away his jab. Here's the thing about taking away a jab. A jab can only be taken away if you let the person take it away and you stop throwing it. So that's the thing.
I don't think that Errol's going to allow anybody to take away his jab.
No, you can't, because he's going to keep throwing it, and he's going to.
I know what's coming. I know what's coming. Manny Pacquiao, you're gonna size Errol up, aren't you? You're gonna try to jump in. You're gonna dart in.
Yes.
You're gonna dart in. I know you're getting that right hook. Angle. I know you're getting that right hook ready. I know you're getting that right hook ready, but be very aware when what happens when you jump in with this kid. The same way you tap your gloves together and tell people to come on, he's gonna do the same shit to you. In the moment he don't feel nothing, he's gonna start to walk you down. But I digress because that's another fight. And I don't want to get into it. It is another fight. But
okay, you want to get into it because we know we don't duck in. Yeah. We think Errol don't throw uppercuts, and you're
gonna pay all the price.
I see what he's gonna pay the price. I see what he thinks he's gonna do. I see what they think they're gonna get underneath the jab. This is what they think they're gonna do.
Freddie Roach, you're not smart, man. Like people.
But that jab, he know you want to go there. So when you throw the jab and you duck it, then guess what's coming after that right behind it? See, that's the problem. Man.
And it ain't don't worry about that left hand. It ain't the left hand from Errol that you should be worried about.
It's the right hand. It's the right hand.
Oh my goodness, that ain't even the one you should be worried about. But I can't speak on things like that. So man, I don't know. Got to tighten up that jab, and we got to work on that cutting off the ring, man. That's another fight where I've seen Mel get in front of a guy and have him hurt. And he can't cut off the ring. Male is literally 1 to 2, maybe even 3 steps sometime when you're cutting the ring off. All you're doing is making it smaller anytime they try to step over. All you're doing is cutting the ring down, and you're beating them to the spot where they're trying to get to. That's all it is. And then right when they're right in front of you, you get to throw that jab, that jab that you got, and then you can go on a full assault.
Yeah, just triangulate, man.
We didn't see a lot of that, man.
I was so shy. He never cut the ring off the entire fight, not even once.
Nope. He didn't put
no feints.
Rare spottings or sightings of him pushing Castano back, other than him being hurt. Just rare sightings of him pushing him back. Man. I give
rematch.
Castano, my man, you gotta be. Salute to the whole Argentine community, all the boxers. Pelea. That's what they came to see, a fight, and they almost got a really they got a good one.
They got a fight.
They got a fight. Castano made it a fight, but I thought we would have seen more from Mel to kind of like offset that, and that's not what happened. Man, a C, man. And I
C minus. C minus.
I don't want to do that though.
Shit.
I don't want to
Come on,
do
bro.
that,
we
man.
just I went through the whole list. So how do you not have a C minus? Where's the jab?
No
Where's
jab.
the body work? Where the feints? You didn't cut the ring off.
Didn't cut the ring off, man. You got.
I mean, damn. Come on, bro. I mean, if you don't do
And
any
look,
of that, how
if
could you
I'm
have
giving you a
anything
C and he
over
giving you a C minus, that tell you what you really got. Tell you
Yeah.
what you really got.
Yeah,
'Cause
a
it's
D or an
really
F.
more than that. You really got lower than that, Phil. But
Yeah,
hey, man, we gonna go ahead and get up out of here, so you can go
no
ahead
doubt.
and get on. Appreciate you jumping on here with me, man. For everybody,
No
this
doubt.
is another episode of Clean Breaks. This is report card pickup for the Charlo Castano fight that took place over the weekend. Peace.
Peace.